Hello, it's your boy Davidoff. Welcome back to Movie Monday. Today is Star Trek 6, which is the last of the original Star Trek series. There are 13 movies in total, I think. So this is the last of this continuity. So we finally finished this. I'm on holiday next week, so it's good timing. This one's called The Undiscovered Country. I hope it's good because I enjoyed the first four. Loved 2 and 4 especially. Fifth one I felt was a bit underwhelming, aside from the ending, the last half an hour or so. So I'm hoping this is good because it's the final one in this particular continuity. So I hope it's good. So here is the synopsis for this one. On the eve of retirement, Kirk and McCoy are charged with assassinating the Klingon High Chancellor and imprisoned. Oh, I thought the Klingons were peaceful with them now. What's going on? Why has it gone back to... Anyway, yeah, the Enterprise crew must help them escape to thwart a conspiracy aimed at sabotaging the last best hope for peace. Interesting. I feel like the antagonists are not the Klingons. I feel like there's something else. That there's a third party at play that's pit them against each other. But let me stop guessing and let me start watching. It's still opening credits right now. It's kind of funny because Star Wars opening credits, you see space with a text going along. In Star Trek you have also space, but it's not moving up, it's just you see the text. I mean, if you've seen Star Trek, you know what I'm talking about, but yeah. I like to make the comparison, even though they're very different franchises. I know people always love to ask, love to compare Star Wars and Star Trek. I will not be doing that, but yeah, it makes sense why they would compare that. The premise is interesting. I don't know how it's going to go completely, but I have an idea where it's going to go, at least in the first or second act. So they've got to escort the Klingon High Chancellor and Admiral Kirk, or Captain Kirk, whatever Kirk he is right now. He is obviously still angry over the death of his son, and that makes sense. That does make sense. So I understand that. What happened was the moon from the Klingon planet has been destroyed, so their ozone is collapsing. So they got a max 50 years left of oxygen. So the Klingons are in trouble of extinction. And Spock volunteers the Enterprise crew to do this favor for them, to try and help them. Mr. Kirk is not very happy with this because he still hates the Klingon. So fair enough. Okay. I think I know where this is going. So what I was saying was, you can see his animosity and is that even the right word to use? I don't even know. You could see his thirst for vengeance in a way. You can see his anger and pain over his son's death. You can see his hatred for the Klingons. And the fact that he's got to escort the High Chancellor of the Klingons. I'm guessing someone kills this High Chancellor, which, I mean, it says in the plot, literally, like, not the plot, the synopsis, that they get arrested for it. Somebody kills this High Chancellor and he gets blamed because he's a prime suspect. It's a bit obvious, maybe it's too obvious, but he is the prime suspect. He doesn't like the Klingons, he's not happy with doing his job. Yeah, that's what I think will happen. Someone's going to kill, but it's not going to be Kirk, and he's going to be blamed. Okay, I see what you're doing, Star Trek. I see it. It's like a murder whodunit conspiracy. Well, that escalated. This is already much better than the fifth one. So there's this awkward dinner scene. So they invite some of the high Klingons, military and leaders over with the Enterprise crew, and they have this big dinner. It's very awkward. Kirk does not hide that he doesn't like them. And then they leave, they go in their ship, and the Enterprise fires 2 missiles, 2 torpedoes at the Klingons, taking down their ship. But it wasn't them. But it is them, because it's come from their ship. So someone has fired from their ship, but Kirk and no one else knows who's fired it. And 2 people in white suits are on the Klingon ship, and they go and assassinate the High Chancellor and the person he was with in the room as well, whoever that was. So it's quite clear already that they've been framed, and some of the Klingon do actually think the Enterprise did it, because obviously the Enterprise literally did fire on them, so their perspective makes sense. But I guess they didn't see the 2 white suits that assassinated him as well. Maybe it's internal, maybe it's Klingons that did it, I don't know. But that's intriguing. So the Enterprise surrenders when the Klingons are about to fight back, because the Enterprise didn't really do it. Someone did it on the Enterprise. Maybe they were hacked, I don't know. But yeah, even though they didn't do it, they said we won't do it. They're going to attack us. Klingons are going to attack us, but we're not going to do a shield. We're just going to surrender. And then Kirk and McCoy decide to go on a Klingon ship in peace. They decide to beam themselves up into their ship in peace, to try and tell them like it wasn't us, and also to try and save the High Chancellor, revive him, which is happening right now, but it's clearly not working. They managed to revive him for like a second. He said, "Don't let it end this way, Captain," and then it dies. Interesting. But in the synopsis it says they get arrested. I feel like the synopsis gave away too much, to be honest. I didn't need to know that, actually. But I assume the two of them get arrested on this Klingon ship. Yep, they've been arrested. Okay. I mean, it makes sense why the Klingons thought it was them. But I still feel like the two of them are surrendering themselves to them, because the Enterprise is a powerful ship. They could easily attack them if they wanted to. So I feel like from the Klingons' perspective, like, the two, like, including Captain Kirk, two important crew members came to your ship to try and save your Chancellor. But I guess that wasn't enough to make them change their minds. But, you know, it makes sense because they were fired on by the Enterprise. From their perspective, from the Klingons' perspective, they were fired upon by the Enterprise. And even Spock is saying, like, our database says we fired on them. So it's just like, there's some sort of sabotage. Whoever sabotaged was very smart. I hope it's not someone on the team, because that would be the ultimate betrayal. Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention, even at the dinner, Kirk wasn't exactly that friendly. I mean, he was civil to an extent, but he did not show that he was completely friendly in that situation, and he also showed before that he didn't want to, like, do this mission. So that would also add to the suspicion. From the Klingons' perspective, especially the ones at the dinner that are still alive, they'd be like, yeah, it probably was them. They had a recording of him. At the start of the film, Kirk said, "I've never trusted Klingons, I never will. I can't forgive them for the death of my boy." They played this in his trial in court. Even to them it's so obvious it's him. But to us, the audience, we know it's not him. But we understand the Klingons when they say he is the killer, because it actually makes sense from their perspective. He didn't like them. So, yeah. Of course he's going to get found guilty. This will be very interesting. And I assume the team's going to hatch a great plan to help him escape. And to prove his innocence as well, I guess. Interesting theories Spock has. I'm not talking like Yoda. So the killers either used their ship to fire on the Klingons, or they hacked into the database to show the databank to show that they fired on the Klingons. Either way, the killers have been on their ship. He's also suggesting that it could be a bird of prey, which is the ship they use to go back in time. It could cloak itself. So it's possible a bird of prey was cloaked and fired upon the Enterprise. No, not the Enterprise, sorry, the Klingon ship. I'm liking this. It's a very cool whodunit storyline, except it's how. I mean, we don't know who done it yet, but it's more of a question of how was it done? How is this possible? But yeah, this is really good so far. I'm halfway through now. I've been very much engaged this whole film. The only time I've been watching 100% is when I'm doing this. So I should do less of this. So their punishment is they're banished to this weird deserted planet. I think it's an asteroid. It's really cold and everyone wants to kill them. Sounds great. Bro, why have Star Trek got their own Chewbacca? If you know, you know. I love the escape scene. The place where they're in prison, they gotta escape that place, and then they're on this freezing planet. They're gonna freeze to death. They need the Enterprise to beam them up. Eventually they do, but when they do, there's Klingons about to explain the truth behind everything. And then they get beamed up into the ship, and Kirk's like, "You couldn't wait 2 seconds?" And Spock's like, you wanna go back? They're just like, no, too cold, mate. The movie's over now. That was very good. Thinking about it, watching the 6 movies, also like, this was definitely like intended as the ending as well, because I noticed at the end, you get all the actors' signatures at the end, a bit like how Avengers Endgame ended actually, except without the pictures. So I thought that was a pretty nice touch. It was a good ending, I felt. It was a fitting ending. What I was going to say just a second ago was my favourite ones are the even numbered ones, 2, 4 and 6. This was very good. Love 2 and 4 as well. I think 2 is still my favourite, to be fair. 1 I think was fine. I didn't dislike 1. And I didn't dislike 3 either. I thought they were fine. I just think 2, 4 and 6 are the best ones. 5 is the only one where I thought, nah, that one didn't work for me, apart from the last half an hour. But the other 5, you know, 1 to 4 and 6, they all delivered, I feel. But for me, the best ones are 2, 4 and 6. But yeah, this is really good. It turns out to be this crazy conspiracy. There are definitely Klingons involved. I forgot the Klingons' name for a second. Klingons involved, but also humans involved as well, and the Starfleet members were involved as well. So there was a big conspiracy. In the end, they thwarted an assassination on the president, just in time, just in the nick of time, in the midst of a peace hearing. But yeah. Also, just even beyond that, they ended it really well. Like, it's a nice fitting ending for the crew, and yeah, it was. I assume at the time this was like a big event. It definitely feels like it, and to me, it kind of feels like it is a big event. So, yeah, that was pretty good. The next Star Trek movie I watch will probably be in like a couple months' time. Won't be like next week, just so you know. But I'm glad I watched these 6. I think it was definitely worth watching. It was really good overall, apart from 5. I will give number 6 an 8.5 out of 10. I'm trying to think what I gave the other ones. I should have noted that down. But if I was to rank them, 2, 6, 4, 1, 3, 5. Yeah, that's perfect. Actually, that's my ranking. So yeah, 2 is still my favourite one, but yeah, 2, 4 and 6 are all certified elite. 1 was very good, 3 was good as well. 5 not so much. I've repeated myself now. I'm just repeating myself now. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I certainly enjoyed watching Star Trek, and I look forward to watching the other generations of Star Trek movies. I heard the very new generation is like unfinished. I've heard they might be making a sequel or whatever. But I'll be watching that after I watch the next batch of movies. I think there's 4. I think there's 4, and then the new generation is 3, as far as I remember. But I look forward to that. I wonder if they'll like do like a remake of the originals, or whether they'll do a whole new storyline, because I looked into it, and like there are certain actors that play the same named characters as this. So I'm wondering if it's like a complete reboot, or whether it's just their children. But I shall find out when I watch those eventually. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. This is very good, once again. And I would rewatch this for sure. This one and number 2 I definitely rewatch the most. I should have bought that box set. There's a 4K box set out, but I wasn't sure if I'd like this. So yeah, because the first one was good but didn't convince me enough that I loved the whole franchise. And then I watched number 2, I was just like, yeah, this is the franchise. I still prefer Star Wars though. I said I wouldn't compare earlier. I've been outroing this for like 10 minutes. This is your boy Davidoff. Please like, share, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. I'll give you one thing though. This has more good movies than Star Wars. Because Star Wars, you have the original trilogy. You have Force Awakens. And you have... I'm only saying Force Awakens because the other 2 sucked. So I'm gonna minus that one because the 2 sequels sucked. Force Awakens gets depleted, so we're gonna minus that. So you got the original trilogy, Revenge of the Sith, the 3rd prequel, and Rogue One. So that's 5 good Star Wars movies. I've already seen 5 good Star Trek movies. So yeah, they just need 1 more, and they've already done more good movies than Star Wars. So there is that. But it doesn't beat the original trilogy of Star Wars. So, but yeah, I said I wouldn't compare, and I have. Anyway, yeah, goodbye.
Let's take it slow. Where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow. Who cares where we gotta be?